Hey, it's Jonathan. The question is, I know I need to do landscaping, but I don't know anything about landscaping. Should I start learning it or should I focus on the maintenance side? The quick answer is just focus on the maintenance side. If you know it, if you like it, there's plenty of work on the maintenance side. You don't need to do landscaping. Landscaping is not as cut and dry as buying some plants and sticking them in the ground. There's sourcing the plants, there's picking out the plants, there's designing the job, there's estimating it, there's getting pricing from vendors for the plants, there's figuring out how to mark it up, there's like pickup and delivery, there's warranty, there's all these things that go into landscaping, and a lot of guys don't realize that they're underpricing because they just look at the part of the project where they were installing the plants, or the vendor said mark it up 100%, and they mark it up 100%, but they forget about all the visits with the client to lay out the property and the drawing and the design, and they forget about going to pick out the plants for the client. They forget that they have to go to 3 different nurseries to get everything. They forget that a lot of times you'll order pansies for flowers in the fall and they're out at the last minute, or they're out of blue. And so now you've got to get back on the phone with the client and you've got to pick out another color, and maybe you have to go to a different vendor, and it's always something. So the landscape business is highly profitable, a lot of money in the landscape business, but if you're not really dedicated to it, it's not a big part of your business, it's generally not profitable because there is so much to it. To be really good at landscape and make a lot of money, I generally think you need to be working on bigger projects, and you really need to understand everything that goes into it. There's so much that goes into selling a $2,000 project that it's almost the same amount of effort as selling a $10,000 or $15,000 project. These little $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 projects, I don't see them as hugely profitable. And so just based on how much work goes into them. And when you do a few, you start to learn this stuff. So I'd focus on what you like. I'd focus on what you're best at. I'd really build the maintenance side of the business. There's plenty of services to offer on the maintenance side of business. And maybe you dabble in the slow times in a few landscape projects, and you write down all your numbers and all the things you had to do that went into it, and you start to learn some numbers for the future in case you want to spread, in case you want to grow into that side of the business. But if you're going to do any landscaping, do it to fill in holes in your schedule where you don't have enough work. And when you do it, write down everything you do. Write down the fact that you spent 2 hours with Miss Smith at her house, and you spent an hour and a half on the design. You spent 45 minutes calling 3 different nurseries, asking prices and availability on plants. You spent 1 hour driving and picking up plants at one place, and another 45 minutes at another place, and then another 30 minutes picking up mulch at a third place. You were missing a tool. You had to go buy a replacement shovel because one broke on the job site. You write down the fact you got to the property and you discovered that when you were digging the hole, you hit an irrigation pipe, and now you got to fix that. Or where you were planning to plant the tree, whatever kind of tree it is, there was an irrigation line running under there that you hadn't anticipated. I mean, the list is long. Write it all down. Track the time on all of it. Then it becomes a great learning experience that really shortcuts the process. So you've got a lot of education and learning under your belt when you're ready to expand there, and then you really know how to price. Then you really know what kind of jobs you want, which kind of jobs you don't want. So if you do any landscaping now, do it from a learning standpoint. Have in your mind that this is, I'm learning, I'm tracking, I'm writing everything down, I'm measuring my time on everything so that I'm very, very well educated and versed in how I need to be charging when I'm serious about this, and use it to fill in gaps. Otherwise, focus on that maintenance. The more you focus, the more money you'll make. When you expand a business into any service, it's very rare that that new service offering is profitable. It takes a while for new service offerings to become profitable. You've got lessons to learn. You've got to get enough work to create efficiencies, to keep people busy, to get people enough work so that certain people are dedicated to doing that same type of project over and over and over again. When you have workers that do lawn mowing and bush trimming and fertilization and landscaping, and they do all these other things, they're never great at any one. They never get a flow to their day. We find the best way to run our crews is have our mowing guys mow all day long. Don't mow and then trim, then mow, then trim. We don't like that. There's more efficiency in just a rhythm. So think about the rhythm of your business. How can you stay on task and stay focused? How can you get really good at a few things and figure and measure them and understand the numbers behind them so you can maximize the profit? Once you get it down, once you get it flowing, then move to the next service. And so I wouldn't get caught up in feeling like you really need to be in landscaping right now. Just learn it, but don't make it a big part of your business.